Leslie's. Am I on there?
Yep.
Here we go. Okay.
The hourly rate puts it in perspective.
Good afternoon, this is Laura McCabe. Can you hear me, Stephanie? Just
Yep.
nod.
Yep. I can hear you, Laura.
We have several folks here in the conference room. Are we ready to begin?
Yes, we are.
All right, let me introduce who's in here and then you can proceed, or whoever's going to proceed.
All right.
Let me make sure all of our folks are on.
Missed that. Okay.
Okay, so it's September 15th, 2021. It's Polk Education Association Paraeducator Network Manager Negotiations. I'm Laura McCabe, Coordinator for Labor Relations, and we have several of our district staff here in the HR conference room. And I'll start to my right if you introduce yourself.
Dr. Tina Barrios.
Pamela Cotter.
Jason Pitts. Mike Roberts.
All right, that concludes who's in our room, and we have other members remotely. I see Mr. Kirk. And
good afternoon.
Don't know if Ms. Porteous has had a chance to join us. We have Ms. Joanne Brooks as well from personnel.
All right.
All right, we're good with intros, or do you want us to go through our intro as well?
Well, I know earlier today, and I apologize for getting that to you so late. We sent over proposed salary schedule for how the current para network managers would move over to our proposed pay scale with the new rates, and I sent that to you guys so you have maybe a chance to look at it. And see where we can go from there.
Yeah, so we did have a chance to look at it, but before we move on to your proposal, what I'd like to do is just get on the record. So we issued a proposal last time we met. So are you formally rejecting that proposal?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do, because we have a lot of folks who haven't seen the proposal, I would like you to, if you don't mind, please walk us through your proposal. If you could please explain it to us.
Okay. All right. Can we put up there? All right. So on our the district's previous proposal, we had proposed starting the salary at $28,000. However, we had pretty much everyone grouped into only just 3 levels of pay. So there was not really any, the folks that are currently on the scale did not enjoy the same amount of separation, I guess, between pay rates. So what I did on this proposal is to try to keep a similar difference between the rates so that the folks that have been here many years kind of saw that difference in pay. And I think the bottom, if you go all the way down to the bottom, we start at 28, and the folks that have been here the longest will see an increase to nearly at the very bottom to $41,000.
What if I project the actual scale?
Now, the scale, and just a little bit of background information, this is typically how the district proposes let me say, this is how our professional technical levels typically are designed. They're just a 1% between levels, and that way when we decide if we can give raises, we'll move folks, 1 level, 3 levels, and it's just a percent. That's essentially how it's designed. The previous proposal totaled about $253,000 in cost for this group. And the proposal that we sent over this afternoon is just a little bit more than $400,000, which we feel like is a good proposal for these folks.
And that figure, if you go to tab 2, right, is located at the bottom of, is that correct, right?
That is correct.
So we're looking at, all right. You can scroll down to the bottom so folks can see it.
Yeah.
There you go. So $402,248. Anything else you want to add to your proposal?
Just the job description.
Okay.
Just the other part of it was the job description that we would like to get an agreement on that job description, along with the I guess the salary schedule that I sent.
I think we're good with the job description, unless someone.
As long as we add in that they're union and that they're under the para educator CBA.
There's no objection to that, right?
Because you had question marks where it was union, not union, which, pay grade or CBA. So we just need to add in that they will be a union covered position like they currently are, and that they will remain in the para CBA.
There's no objection to that, right?
I'm sorry, we were talking here about, we kind of overlooked that for this meeting. I mean, our idea is that this is a union job description, but they would be on their own pay scale, not.
Well, they would still be in the para educator contract, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So it looks like we have agreement on that part. So we did have a chance to go over what you sent, what you proposed. We saw what your cost is out there. We're going to counter propose what you put out here. So we're going to tweak some numbers, but Stephanie's going to introduce and present our counter proposal based on what you sent us over this afternoon.
Okay.
So if you guys can.
Yeah, if I can have the ability to share, Laura. And so just to, as Laura's getting me permissions to share my screen, I do want to preface this that we wanted a shorter scale. We wanted something that was more currently in line with the para-educator salary schedules for the other pay grades, with 3% increments between the pay levels. And so we shortened the schedule so that para network managers would more mirror what the para pay grades currently are for the other pay grades. We did not want, our goal is to even shorten them further as we move through, even through open book coming up. They shouldn't have a 21 schedule, salary movement, which they currently do now. So we definitely don't want to increase that to 48 or 49 levels. That's going backwards from what we would, our overall goals to shorten the schedules. And so we took, the approximately $400,000 that you were, that the district was looking at in their proposal to spend. And so what we ended up costing out, and I'm gonna throw this up here now. So I have the districts alongside of what we are proposing. And so we are proposing a starting salary of $30,000. And what we did was we shortened it from, you guys have, 48 levels. We shortened it back to what they currently have, which is 21 levels.
Excuse me, Stephanie, we're having trouble seeing it. Could you make it a little bit bigger or hide that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just too tiny for us. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, and so we started with a starting salary of $30,000, and we have the levels in 3% increments like we currently have in the para and ESP contracts. All the pay grades have a 3% level increase increment between each pay level. And so we kept that synonymous with what we currently have in the support staff contracts as a whole. And then what I did was we took the 48, 49 levels from your end. And so I said, if they were in the 28,000s on yours, I compressed all those employees into 30,000. If they were in the 29,000 range, so like rows 7, 8, and 9, we're all in the 29s, they went to the 30,900. If they were in the 30,000s on yours, they went to the next one. And I just kind of went down and grouped them in order to get the 21 levels to reflect that we currently have in the para pay grade. And so that overall cost, and we costed out 48 employees, you guys costed out 48 employees. That overall cost, yours was $1,558,753. Our structure was $1,635,435, with really only a difference of $76,000. And so shortening the schedule makes more sense to us. They would stay in the para contracts for right now. We do want to address things moving forward in the open book with pay grades, as we've already expressed, not just with para network managers. It is a little bit over the 400,000 for the cost out, but really not much when we're talking about the budget that we have. And this gets us to a starting salary that it's not what we initially wanted, but we think that 30,000 looks better than 28. And it's really only costing you, $76,000 more, which in the grand scheme of things are the crumbs, of your budget. And so we didn't over exceed. We felt the $400,000 mark. But this makes more sense to keep it in line with the structure that is already currently in place for the para network manager in the PA 0811 pay grade. It keeps it with the same number of pay levels, 21. I changed it to the alpha, which is in line with what we are changing the other para pay grades to the alpha levels as well. And it stays within the structure that mirrors the other para and support staff structures with the 3% increments in between the salary levels. And so this is our counter, and it doesn't cost really much more than what you guys have just proposed. And this makes more sense to us.
Does the employer have any questions?
Yes, could you scroll down a little bit more?
Could you scroll down to the bottom of that?
Here, let me actually, it might be easier, guys, because I know with sharing it makes it, let me, because we were working on this up until we got on. And so let me just go ahead and send it to you so that you have it in an email form and you can pull it up too. If you can see it, so you can see it on your own computers, and then I can scroll down. So let me send this out real quick to you guys.
Could you also scroll down and we can be looking at it in the meantime?
Yes, ma'am. You want to go all the way to the bottom? Right here, or all the way to the cost out? So over here on the E column is the district cost out of what was sent to us. The 48 is just the number of employees, and they match. The column K is our total cost out, and then column M is the difference between your 402 and what ours would cost.
Okay, could you just hover around the 30s, 20s, and 30s levels, and we can just look at those?
Go back to those rows. Right here. Is that what you're wanting, Laura? Okay. Oh, sorry. All right, it is sent over.
You sent it, Stephanie?
I just sent it.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. Thank you.
It's en route. Hopefully it's there now.
Hey, Stephanie, I don't have it yet, but we are caucusing anyway. So once we get it, we'll be able to discuss it better.
Yeah, just a few more minutes.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I just sent it, so be on the lookout. It should be to you guys. It's in my sent folder at 4:16.
Stephanie, if you collapse your toolbar, you can see more of the spreadsheet.
Okay, let me go and do that. And our team, I'm sending you guys this as well. So you have it too. It'll go to your personal email. Just so you have it too.
Happy birthday, Lorinda.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Stephanie, we've had a chance to look, and we think this looks like a good proposal, and we're good with the way that it looks.
All right.
Okay, so we
Yay.
have, there you go. So we have an agreement on this proposal.
Yes, sir.
Both the job description.
The job, I mean, if we're good with the job description, and we're good with this proposal, but kind of the crosswalk and how these folks would be placed.
Yep.
Yes.
And yeah, and so with the job description, as long as we add in that they are union and that they will be still covered under the paraeducator contract. And I think for right now, just call it PA 0811 like they're called right now, with the pay grade.
Okay.
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 All right.
We're good.
So
Well-
then I think this wraps up the paraeducator and support and secretary clerical salary outside of the health plan, which we are meeting with AFSCME after the the superintendent's insurance committee next Wednesday, correct?
Yes, correct.
Since we will be at Jim Miles, will you guys be joining and coming to Jim Miles, or will we be sending a virtual link out?
The virtual link was previously sent out.
Okay. Okay. And so we'll have the capability like we've done before at Jim Miles, since we're already, some of us will already be there, to do the hybrid in person and virtual at Jim Miles, Laura?
I think that will be through each person's laptop. There's no
Okay.
there's no projection.
Okay, all right. So we'll so my folks that will be at insurance committee, make sure you bring your laptops so that you can join. What was that, Marianne?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. What day is that?
That is going to be Wednesday, September 22nd is the insurance committee. And so we're going to do the joint health negotiations, since AFSCME will also be at the joint, the sick. Yeah, it is sick, but the superintendent's insurance committee meeting already. And so we're going to, and Linda King will already be there, that we're going to extend and do the health plan negotiations after insurance committee. And so that will start at 5 on Wednesday then.
Stephanie, if there's a possibility it will end earlier, could we have people just ready, like quarter till, just?
Yeah, that's fine. We can send out a message. And so just make sure that that's okay with Lisa, because Lisa's folks are going to be probably the ones that have more restrictions with that, because her bus drivers on her team may not be able to get there till 5. I don't know. You'll have to speak with Lisa though. But my folks should be fine with that if we start at 4:45 instead of 5. Just in case it runs, if it goes earlier.
Are you going to submit this proposal for signature?
Yes, and we have a few other ones that I think don't have signatures on them that we've done virtually, that we don't have physical signatures on, but we have tentative agreements verbally from virtual negotiations. I think the substitute pay in Article 8 is one of them, to where we don't have physical signatures. So I think there's a couple out there that don't have physical signatures yet, even though we have verbal tentative agreements through virtual bargaining. And is Heather on the call?
She's on vacation.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. She did tell me that. So Jason, and I think you were on this too. I had sent, I think beginning of last week, I had done the para and the secretary clerical pay grades with the alpha levels and the compression to 11, adding the 2% into the pay grade, just so that we could start cleaning up for tentative agreements to go out for ratification. Because Heather had said that payroll said the alpha levels that we had suggested would be good to go for SAP. And so I haven't heard anything back yet. So did that look good on your end?
I want to say yes, but let me just confirm this evening. and I'll let you know. I believe so, but let me just verify that.
Okay, because what I want to start doing now is taking those Excel tables and putting them into the tentative agreement for the Word document that will go out for contract ratification advertisement, because we'll have to put it into the Word document for the CBAs.
Okay, I'll verify that with you this evening.
Okay.
I know I owe you something else this evening.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Stephanie.
And Laura, would it be possible to for you to come by the office so that we can just go through the para ESP to make sure we have the same, that everything's the same?
Yes, could we wait till we get the tentative agreement signed, do you think?
Yeah, no, and that's fine. I'll be back physically in the office tomorrow. And we can touch base on Friday. And so before I get any further, because I started talking logistics, do we on either side, do we have any questions, anything that that we need to clear up before we move on? From my team, from district team?
No from the district team.
Okay.
Yes, I have a question, Stephanie. This is Althea.
Yes, ma'am.
When we do this piece for ratification, for those of us that are part of the team, for those that are on the top of the pay scale that are going to be getting that additional 3%, is there any way that we could have those amounts put so that when we talk to people that's on that particular, scenario, that we could tell them what they're going to be making?
So I guess I do have a question about that now that Althea brings that up. Would that be more on an individual basis, depending on how long they've been at that step and if there's been any other COLAs and stuff, over the last, decade? I mean, would those amounts be the same, or would they vary individually if they're at the top?
I mean, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, in theory, the amounts would be the same.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot think of a reason. I'm just trying to think of a reason why.
Okay.
We don't have any outliers, so it would be
perfect. Okay.
Anybody who's at the top level would get the same amount.
Okay. So then I can work on adding that in just so they know what they would be getting.
Sure.
In addition to the 2% added into the actual pay grade. Because that'll be easy for me to add on to the Excel.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Althea. All right.
So if we sign this week or next week, when do you foresee ratification?
So we, unlike AFSCME, we have to wait until health plan is, because we have to all go out at the same time. We don't have a mechanism in our constitution and bylaws to go out really cost efficiently separately for the health plan. And so hopefully on the 22nd, we can have the health plan. But if we can get everything else good to go, that's why I was saying, Laura, if we can meet, make sure all the tentative agreements are signed, we can go through the PARA and ESP language that's being changed like we normally do, or being proposed to change to the bargaining unit. That way on the 22nd, hopefully we can wrap that up, and then we can start on our end on the 23rd. And we've already requested, and Don Wilson, the district attorney, has signed off on it too for PERC, for us to do an electronic ratification like we did in the spring.
Yeah, PERC has approved that. Yeah.
Yes. So they've approved that extension because we had to reapply for that since the time had expired. So we're good to go for an electronic ratification just like we did in April. So we won't have to use the courier system or anything like that. Dr. Barrios and her team will need to whitelist and we'll probably use the same company because we were happy with that company. But so it's the same procedure as we did in April. So we could probably be ready to advertise with our paras and ESPs if the health plan wraps up on Wednesday, probably by Friday. We can ready to put that out for advertisement.
The 24th.
Yeah. Tentatively, as long as if we can come to an agreement with the health plan on Wednesday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
which if
Yeah.
I didn't know, I knew you were immediate, but I wasn't sure how immediate. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we're ready, and so I can get Lisa tomorrow to contact the company we used to get that rolling since we're close. So.
No, I would like to thank Dr. Tina Barrios and Mike Roberts for their assistance on this, and for your team and our team. I know it seems like it's been a longer process than we'd like, but I'm glad that we were able to come to an agreement. And we were trying to make this the shortest negotiation meeting ever, but I don't know if we met that or not.
Close.
We want to thank your team for working through this.
Nope, and I hope that this is the start moving forward, that we can, look at hard topics and be collaborative and get what's best for our employees.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else? We're good?
No, I think we are great.
Okay. Well, I hope all of your team has a good evening, and we'll see you next week at the health plan.
Yep. And Laura, we'll get with you tomorrow and Friday and set up when we can schedule to get together.
Thank you.
All
right.